everyone, welcome to Miami Life and Fitness. In today's video, we're going to be talking about estrogen blockers. What are they and why are they needed? Stay tuned. So this video is going to be going out to two people. It's going to be going out to XN and Barrett Jones. Barrett Jones wanted to talk about blood pressure because it's not commonly talked about, how to keep blood pressure under control. And this is something that guys do all the time. And then XN wants to know, wanting to do a video regarding Novadex, what is it commonly used for and its benefits. So this goes out to you, XN and Barrett Jones. All right, so before we start, if you need labs done and your doctor doesn't tell you where to go and you definitely want to get your labs done, go to privatemdlabs.com, use my code Miami for a 15% off. Lots of panels to choose from, user-friendly website. Now go to my website if you need information on how to contact me for coaching, training, food, etc., workout programs. Go to miamilifeandfitness@gmail.com or go to my website www.miamilifeandfitness.com. and we will get you started if you are ready to reach your goal. Also, for those of you that have been sending me super thanks, I want to thank you so much to each and every one of you. That is very kind and I appreciate it greatly. You have no idea how much I appreciate it, to each and every one of you. So today's video is going to be about AIs, estrogen blockers, aromatase inhibitors, however you want to call them, anti-estrogen. There's lots of different names for them, but what they are obviously they are something to combat estrogen. So we're going to talk about what they are, what are they used for in the medicinal reasons, and then we're going to talk about them in the fitness and the bodybuilding world. So what is an estrogen blocker, an AI, an anti-estrogen? It is an aromatase inhibitor for those that are aromatizing, or those that have high estrogen, men and women. Men, please pay attention to this video. This video is not just for women, because when I get to the bodybuilding section on the second half of this video, that is for you men. Okay, so used in the medicinal world, that is something that is used for anti-cancer, for the mammary glands, or for breast cancer. If a woman has high estrogen and is producing a lot of estrogen, she may be at risk of breast cancer, and thus the treatment Novadex, which is also tamoxifen, and then Arimidex. Usually a physician will start out with your lowest and your weakest AI, which is Nova or tamoxifen, and then in a few years they move up to the second part of the therapy, which is Arimidex. So when a woman has heavy periods, a lot of bleeding and a lot of pain, or the periods last a very long time and they're very, very heavy, that woman has now high estrogen and has a hormonal imbalance. So when this type of woman has this type of hormonal imbalance, which is high estrogen, that woman is at a much higher risk of then developing not only breast cancer, but uterine cancer, ovarian cancer, and other types of cancers. She is also at risk for obviously being overweight, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart conditions, loss of sleeping, loss of sex drive. Now the doctor will then prescribe one of the AIs, which are again Nova, Arimidex, or in some occasions letrozole or aromasin. So obviously Letro and aromasin are the two strongest ones. So the doctors like to start off with Nova and then move up to Arimidex. Now in a man's case, for men, usually when a man develops signs of high estrogen, that man, and obviously we're not talking about a bodybuilding cycle, that man has low testosterone. So for men, pay very close attention. If you have high estrogen, that is a sign that you are not producing as much testosterone as you need, and you are getting fluffy and a cream puff pee. Okay, now also what can happen to a man if he doesn't balance and regulate and restore his hormones so that you can reach optimal testosterone levels, where the same thing that happens to a woman. You're going to be overweight, you're have this risk of diabetes, you're going to be a loss of sleep, loss of libido, loss of muscle mass, and you can also have basically high blood pressure, and you're going to be at risk of heart problems and other things, but those are the main ones. So it is very important for a man to keep the estrogen lower and the testosterone high, as well as for women, because for women, if you have high estrogen levels, you are at a high risk of breast cancer or other types of cancer in the body. Also keep in mind that this is why it's important to get your labs done, because if you reduce the estrogen too much and knock it down too low, you could be at risk, especially women, for osteoporosis. Again, which is why it's imperative and super important to get your labs done so that you can see exactly where your hormones are. Because if you are at an anti-cancer treatment, then the doctor, the physician, or whomever is in control of your, or is monitoring your levels, should know that your levels should not go down that low. Now we're going to talk about the anti-estrogens, or the AIs, in the bodybuilding world and in the fitness world. So, men, pay close attention. Men, pay close attention. Any man who is bodybuilding, competing, powerlifting, CrossFit, going to whatever kind of meet, whatever you're doing, if you are an athlete or in the fitness world and you are very fit, you want to make sure that your levels are always balanced. In a cycle, and depending on how big your cycle is, but in a cycle, in general, a man should always have an AI in place, an aromatase inhibitor. Why? Because sure, as long as you have all these compounds, you're basically your front runners, your race cars of the androgenic compounds, your testosterone is going to go up. Absolutely, which is what you want. You want your testosterone to increase so you can tear more fibers and build more muscle. Now, if you don't have your bodyguards in place, which is basically Proviron and an AI, your estrogen will also increase, because as we know, as you increase testosterone, it converts then into estrogen and something else called DHT, which is dihydrotestosterone. I have basically seen guys with 3,000 testosterone levels and 3,000 estrogen levels. What's going on inside? You are overflowing, you're spilling out, and you're full of toxic inside, because now what's going on inside your body is you are getting bloated, you're retaining water, which means your arteries are thicker, it's harder for the blood to get to the heart, which means you're putting more strain on the heart, because the heart has to work faster and harder to pump the blood into the heart, which then increases your blood pressure and your palpitations. So now you are at risk of all of these things, which puts you at a risk for heart condition and also high blood pressure, which ultimately could lead to, in a deadly event, a stroke or a mini stroke or any other type of risk of the heart. So it is very, very important that men do a cycle properly. Most guys really don't do a cycle properly because they don't do a complete cycle, because they half-ass the cycle. Why do they half-ass the cycle? Well, because they're naive, they're new to this, and they don't know any better. Number two, their bro buddy in the gym, the big dude in the back, okay, Pedro or John, basically told them that they didn't need it. The third reason is because they don't want to spend money on it, because they want to do something called a Walmart or the Dollar General cycle, because they don't want to spend money on it. And the fourth is they don't think it's going to happen to them. No, man, your estrogen is going to fly high, believe me. You're not exempt to this. You're not exempt. You are not Superman or Spider-Man. You are not exempt of getting the estrogenic side effects. It will happen, and the higher your doses are, it will eventually happen to you. And if you don't have your proper cycle done and balanced, you will eventually have to stop the cycle and do a PCT and run the shit backwards so that you can get your levels restored back to normal, because you've almost converted into a girl, and you have to stop the cycle, which you completely wasted your gains, or wasted the gains that you got, and wasted your money and wasted your time, because now you're going to eventually have to start all over in 30 or 60 days when you get your hormones restored. So that's definitely not smart. So what are the example of the super highly androgenic compounds? I'm talking about running DECA, Tren, Testosterone, Anadrol, D-ball, all of those super and highly androgenic compounds, because those compounds will highly increase the testosterone levels, and if you don't maintain and keep a watch out for the estrogenic side effects, your estrogen will also skyrocket as well. Now, what happens when a man is already predisposed before even starting the cycle? If you're predisposed to high estrogen to begin with as a man, because there are some men literally that are just more prone to higher estrogen, just like there's women that are more prone to higher estrogen than others. So if a man is already predisposed before getting on a cycle, you cannot, will not, and should not take Nova, and probably not even Arimidex, because it's not strong enough for you. You will need to take Electro or Aromasin, which are a lot stronger, and that's to help you keep even more at bay and more control the estrogen so that the estrogen doesn't spike up. And again, depending on how big your cycle is, how many androgenic compounds you have, and how high your doses are. So you have to keep all that in play, and a person really needs to manipulate the cycle properly and tell you exactly what type of AI to take and how much to take, depending on your doses and depending on how many androgenic compounds. So a person really needs to know what they're doing, and when they put the cycle together for you, it can't just be some bro dude in the gym, because 9 times out of 10 they're gonna mess up and they're gonna give you the wrong dose. I'm just telling you, I see it all the time. I'd rather somebody come to me, and I know you don't want to believe me because I'm a girl, but I'm gonna give you 100% better information than the big guy in the gym. Your body and your DNA is not the same as the big guy in the gym, so your body will most likely not end up the same by taking the same compounds as the big guy in the gym. Just saying. So man, take this into consideration. If you are feeling like you're gaining weight, if you are feeling sluggish, if you are feeling loss of energy and fatigued, if you're going to the gym and you're trying to eat properly and you have a loss of muscle or not gaining any muscle, if you are pre-diabetic and you have a lot of body fat, a lot of fat here in the Michelin section, in the big balloon area, the big waist section, and you look like balloons and tires around your waist, if you have low sex drive and you really have no ambition in life and don't want to do anything, and you are slightly getting depressed and maybe have high blood pressure, then this is signs of low T. This is signs of low testosterone. My suggestion to you is, I don't really care if you talk to me or not, but talk to somebody. Go to a TRT clinic, HRT, endocrinologist, somebody who is going to fix you and help you be a man again, because you are slowly turning into a woman as you keep increasing your estrogen side effects and you keep brushing this to the side and said that you're going to be fine, or allowing somebody else to tell you that you're fine, and that person is basically dictating your life, your quality of life, and your manhood. So man up, pick up your skirt, and go get your levels checked, and go get right. Go get right. Ladies really don't have to worry about this during cycle unless you are a bodybuilder and you are sometimes in the figure category, but definitely in the physique and bodybuilding categories, where some women do take larger cycles and androgenic compounds. But again, that is really a very low percentage. So again, if you need to contact me for a consultation, you can go to my website or email me, miamilifeandfitness@gmail.com. Give a super thanks if you found value into this video for my free information that I provide here on this beautiful platform, YouTube. And everyone, go ahead and leave a comment, and please subscribe, because I got like 75% of the people that watch my videos, because you know you love the videos, but you ain't hit that subscribe button. Now, why aren't you subscribing? I mean, what am I gonna bombard your YouTube section? You're already following like 20 other channels. What's the difference of following one more? It's really not a big deal. Just hit the damn subscribe button. Don't be selfish. Don't be selfish, because I'm providing you better information than all those other channels that you're watching, especially the ones with games and clothes and all the other bullshit. You know what I'm talking about. That's in the video. Like, share, subscribe, leave your comment, thumbs up, like, and subscribe to the channel. Everyone have a great week, and we will see you soon. Oh, watch one of these 2 videos.